Welcome to our High Five Live community. So great to be with you on this beautiful morning.
We appreciate you being here, and we would love to know where you are joining us from. So put that in the comments if you don't mind. And any questions also, because we have two guests today that know everything about this amazing event coming next week, opening next week. And so we'll just introduce them quickly, and then we'll get into the exciting news and
Details,
updates
right.
and details, okay?
I will tell you, we called this a miracle of RootsTech. Well, not only that, it's a miracle that these two are with us. There are not two busier people on the earth right now. These two wonderful guests of ours, and we're so grateful to them and to all of our High Five Live management team that makes this possible.
Amen. So Jen Allen, she thinks RootsTech all year. This is her thing. She is the director of events for Family Search, and so this is her baby, and she's amazing at it. She's let's see, a rodent and fields consultant, but what she says mostly is she's a wife to a very busy attorney. Is that what you say?
And three very
active boys. Yes.
Yeah. I understand maybe used to be a competitive dancer.
Is that right?
Oh my goodness. How did you find that out?
Actually,
might have been the FBI. I'm not sure. The background check. It was the background check.
That was many, many years ago. I usually say at least 25 years now ago, and probably like 20 plus pounds ago as well. But yes, I was a ballroom dancer and loved it. That's actually how I met my husband at BYU.
How fun. Well, our son danced at BYU.
Yeah,
and was a
that's
cabaret
so awesome.
dancer.
Oh, nice.
Lots of fun things going on there. So Jen, it is such a privilege to have you here. Let's tell you about Greg.
Yes. Okay. So he is a senior product manager at Family Search and
worked there 10 years.
And he has an extensive, we got tired reading of all the things that this man has done, but he has
Innovator of the Year, all kinds of awards, very gifted at what he does.
Yeah, a background in product strategy and product management. That's mainly what he does, and has made such a difference in so many companies and now Family Search. And he enjoys presenting on family history for beginners. So we'll talk about that today. And he and his wife, Karen, live in Kaysville, and they have 3 boys and 3 children, 1 girl, 2 boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
3
right.
grandchildren. So that's exciting. Thank you to the 2 of you for being with us today.
So much. And the miracle goes on. I mean, Jen, do you want to tell us a little about how this got started and then tell us about what's happening right now? Because lately, in the last week or 2, this thing has exploded.
Yes. This whole process has been incredible. Last year we had RootsTech in Salt Lake City at the Salt Palace, and we were one of the last mass gathering events that took place, at least in Salt Lake City. There were conferences planned just the very next week and had to cancel. So we feel so blessed, so grateful. We were even able to have an event last year. Mm-hmm. But even while it was taking place, we already started talking. We knew that we were going to have to look at 2021 in a little bit different of a world. And so it took us a few months, though, to really put that stake in the ground and say we're going to only focus on a virtual audience. Because quite frankly, we love to get together. It's hard to not be together physically with so many people you've grown to love over the years of RootsTech. So, but once we did make that decision, it just felt like the right approach. It felt peaceful. It was nice to focus on just one audience, honestly, and not worry about creating something for both virtual and in person. So it's been quite the journey. Greg knows it took us way too long to actually decide to build our own website. We shopped for a long time. We shopped and watched and demoed every product out there. But in the end, we really felt strongly about building something that would work specifically for our audience. And so here we are. So, I'm sure we'll talk about it more, but the miracles just keep coming in. And Greg could probably attest to this first, but the fact that we've been able to build a website and actually have a place to host this in just a few short months is nothing short of a massive miracle.
That's so true. And you said direct to one audience, but this is not a little audience.
Oh.
This audience is exploding, right? How many are signed up now?
So I should actually pull up the numbers, but it was over 340,000 yesterday. So what we had no idea, I mean, making that decision was one small thing, but what we did not see coming are the hundreds, literally hundreds of thousands of people. And it's over 220 countries from around the world. There are very few countries left that have nobody coming yet. And by next week, you never know, we might have the whole world filled in. And so it's incredible just seeing this thing grow to be so global. And that's the part that I love. And again, didn't really see coming, but here we are. We make one little decision, and the pandemic is horrible, but it kind of forced us into this world where now we're bringing it to a much larger audience that I think none of us really could have perceived ahead of time.
So fun. And what Greg was saying earlier is 89% of those that are participating, at least as far as we know, are first timers to RootsTech, and probably many of them without a lot of experience in family history research, genealogy research. So Greg, you've been working on a beginner's track. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, we've really tried to cater experiences and prepare experiences for people that are new or people that are just getting started. And we think that there's so many of them around the world. And we think that when people look at family history and some of its complexities as they're starting, they just say, boy, it just seems like too much for me. And oftentimes, just like when you're learning some other skill, you need somebody that can be a friend or a mentor and that can answer questions for you. And we're excited about RootsTech Connect. And you notice that word connect is part of the name of the event, because we feel like this is going to be not just one-way communication for people who are brand new, but it's actually going to be two-way communication where they're going to be able to make connections with other conference attendees, with people they might be related to, with people who might be able to give them a nudge in the right direction or be able to help them answer some of the questions they might have about their family history, especially when it comes to getting started. And so it's such a unique event in that regard. I can't think of anything like it. Jen, I don't know if you can. Are you familiar with any kind of event that 300,000 people come together over a couple of days to help each other and to share stories or to at least, give each other advice, point each other in the right direction? I don't even know what to expect. It's kind of uncharted water.
I'll say.
Absolutely.
And the connect part's fun. In fact, let Angel tell you about her connect part.
So when we interviewed Mike and Diane 3 weeks ago, I think I had like 4,000 something relatives at RootsTech, and I was so excited. And now I looked at right before we went on, and I have 19,402 relatives at RootsTech. So,
Wow.
And I want to connect with all of them.
Yeah, she's going to have a busy time.
And that is just amazing. And, if there's someone who's watching that hasn't started their family history and is thinking, well, how am I going to know who's there for me? What we hope will happen is that they'll come and they'll see some of the guidance that we have put in place, and they can start adding some information that they already know about their family to this family tree, so that we can check to see how they're related and talk to somebody who might be able to give them some help and watch some of the content. And hopefully it'll just be an experience where they can go from one simple thing to another simple thing to another simple thing. And then when you start to get to the parts that are a little more challenging, hopefully we will have enabled you with some helpful, easy to understand content and with places to turn to get help. And we think that's a formula that can work for anyone. And so we're really excited for the folks that are just coming and trying for the first time. We have one track that is all about how do you connect better with your living family, the family members that you know and the family members that you don't know. We have another track on how you can pull together the elements of your family story, whether it's photos about your family or some of the stories that your parents used to tell, or some of the things that are happening in your life every day, and package that together in a way that it helps you understand your life and helps you share and preserve that information so that other members of your family can benefit from it. We have how to get started on the free Family Search website. We also have a path of learning for figuring out how to discover who your ancestors are in your homelands. And then there's also the resources from the Family History Guide that are available at RootsTech as well. And so I just can't think of a time ever in the 10 years that I've been involved with this effort where so many things have come together at the same time, in the same moment. And as Jen mentioned, this has been a really, really tough year for so many people. And so many of us have seen people suffer or lost loved ones. And yet there's also a lot of purpose in some of the things that have happened, because I don't know about you, Jen, a lot of these things, we just wouldn't be having so many of these conversations today if we weren't in the midst of this challenge, in the midst of this pandemic.
And it's not just the pandemic, it's the world has become so divisive and there's so many struggles, but this is the thing that unites. What we're doing is across lines of countries and all ethnicities pulling together a world to see how we connect and how we're all one big family. And it's a miraculous thing that way too, for its very purpose.
It's so miraculous. And even just thinking about that, it's just overwhelming.
Yeah. There are presenters from 51 countries. The website is available in 11 different languages, but I was just looking at some of the classes. There are 72 classes taught in Portuguese, 99 taught in Spanish, 46 in Russian, 19 in American Sign Language, 43 in Chinese, 48 in French, 11 in Estonian, and the list just goes on and on and on. 11 classes taught in Latvian. Now, I speak about a half of a language, but I'm so excited to see so much of so many people coming together trying to help each other to connect and to connect with their family and to discover what their family has gone through. We've put together a beginner series that is helping you try to find information about how to do family history in your homeland. And part of that is instruction if you have African ancestors, Chinese, English, German, Greek, Italian, Jamaican, Japanese, Jewish, Korean, Mexican, Norwegian, Polynesian, Puerto Rican, South African, Swedish, and the list just goes on and on. So there's beginner content for people with all of those homelands. Jen, there's cultural content. There's a songwriting contest. I mean, there's lots of things. There should be something for everyone, is my understanding.
I agree. What do you think, Jen?
Yeah, I mean, that was the hope.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
How to make the most of RootsTech. I mean, what you just said is amazing, but then help us know how people can get the most out of this wonderful experience.
Well, it is, and there's so much, and it's even when I'm listening to Greg, I'm like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm sure that people on the other side are feeling the same way. But one other really great thing about this virtual experience is it's all year long now. So we want you to come next week. There are some features that you will only see live during the 3-day event, but it will feel overwhelming. There's no way you can, watch 1,000 videos in 3 days. So the great thing about this is you can now come back and watch that over and over. One really incredible feature of the new site is that you can create a playlist. So anytime you're going through any of these classes, it's almost like Netflix. That's what I keep equating it to, and you see a class you want to see, well, you can star it, you click this little plus button and it sends it up to your playlist so that later you can go back and watch. So the great thing about that is when the 3 days are over, that playlist will still be there. So even a month later, you can come back and remind yourself, oh, that's right, I really wanted to see that class, that Greg was teaching or some incredible people were teaching. So you can go back and engage in that all year long. So really, what this event is we're creating this huge learning library is what we keep calling it. And this opportunity for you to come back and engage, and it's all free. So, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Like really free. Like completely free.
Completely free. And I mean, there's a funny story behind that, but we were all over the place trying to decide, is this thing free? Do we charge? RootsTech's always had a little bit of a cost to it because it just costs money to put on a big event. And by the way, it still costs a lot of money to put on a virtual event. That all doesn't go away. But in the end, our number one goal of this thing was to make it global. And when you start looking at the global nature of it, I mean, we had pricing models for Peru versus France versus, New York. And that's just so complicated and challenging. So in the end, simplicity won out. And so now what you're getting is this incredible and completely free experience that you can now engage in all year long. So how do you prepare? How do you make the best of it? Honestly, come and enjoy, but don't stress out too much because you've got some time.
That's right.
So true.
That's right.
That is fantastic. That is an aspect of this conference because we've always attended RootsTech and been very actively involved.
You have to,
But it's so selected. At the same time, there are multiple classes going on, and
can't get them all.
but now,
Yeah.
we're having a busy year.
Oh, I'm so excited. So what types of classes? Do you want to just talk about that a little bit? We've talked about the beginning track. What other just generally topics and focuses?
Well, I mean, Greg, you'll be able to say a lot better here. Yeah.
It's so vast.
I'll start it out just a little bit. I mean, the getting started is a big one because so many people are new to this. And again, when you're globalizing, we're reaching out to a whole new audience. So we love all of you. Thank you for coming and joining us every year and year over year. We have content for you too. But we've really transformed learning, I would say, as well. You heard from Diane a few weeks ago, I'm sure, on shorter format of classes. So a lot of these will be 20 minutes. And Steve Rockwood always says is no more death by PowerPoint. I mean, it's hopefully a much more engaging class and learning experience. And we're just starting. I mean, I think we're going to actually get better in that space the more we go. But, joining in and watching these shorter classes. But what's great, in the Salt Palace, it's a little harder to, oh, this is not what I was expecting, but now I'm kind of stuck here. I don't want to, get up and walk away. But you now have this opportunity where, oh no, that's not exactly what I was hoping for. I'm going to go click on this one and see if that's what I want. And so you kind of have this opportunity to sort of engage in a different way. But we have advanced level classes that will be longer. So not every class is 20 minutes. You will see some more advanced things that are deeper dives. There's 3 to 5 minute tips and trick videos. This will be incredible, for us to just go in and say, oh, I never knew how to, add a record or to, add a picture I had or a story I had. So there'll just be lots of those kinds of engagement opportunities as well. But there's categories, obviously DNA will have a huge aspect to this. And so many other, categories that you normally see. So I don't know, Greg, I'm sure you have a little bit more info.
I'd say you covered them really well, Jen. There's stuff for archivists. Yes. Ancestry and some of the other sponsors have created some amazing content that you really got to come and see. In fact, Ancestry just released some that are 60 seconds, all of these instructional clips that you can get in a minute, and just really well done. There's a lot of recorded classes that are conversations like this, where people are saying, hey, tell me how this works, 5 minutes and I'll explain how something works. And but just the breadth and depth and the number of languages and homelands that are being represented, I just haven't ever seen anything like it. Oh, and by the way, Carol Kendrick posted a comment and she asked about her Cherokee and Native American research. I saw a class this morning. It's a series on how to research the 5 largest tribes in Native American tribes. So there's all sorts of solutions. There's another question here that said, well, when's a possible reopen date for local family history centers? We don't know. Jen, I don't know. You might know. I haven't heard, but you can actually come to RootsTech Connect and you can sign up for a 20-minute appointment from an expert from the Salt Lake Family History Library. They'll jump onto a Zoom call with you and help give you some guidance on your research strategy. There's a whole bunch of volunteers that are ready to help you get started in your family history. You can meet them on RootsTech when you connect. And even though the libraries are closed, the centers are closed, you can come to this event and connect with the same kind of people that you would be connecting with if you went to that physical library. And I'm hoping that that's something that's going to grow and improve and get better, so that even if buildings are open again, that we'll still have ways to help each other. That it's miraculous.
You said you were building a library, and this is the biggest virtual library there could be, but adding the idea of personal contact and having a chance to be personally coached, that is incredible. What more could we want, right? That is wonderful.
We just got to get good at doing it. We like the idea of it. We just have to get good at pulling it off. So,
well, I would say for a first time with this kind of event, you guys have rocked it.
We can't thank you enough. Our goal is to thank you.
Yes.
Because
thank you.
You've had a long months of preparation, and here we go next week, and it's so exciting. I know there's also some Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint content.
There's content for members of the church too.
I might be interested in that.
There's a lot of content for members of the church. There's also going to be a Discovery Day-like event where I believe Elder Holland and his wife Pat are going to be speaking, and it's going to be unique because you get to follow them around and probably see some things about their life and their history that they probably couldn't do for you on a regular stage. Jen, you probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's so much fun to do it in a different format. And yeah, we followed not just Elder Holland and his wife, but his whole family. So his children were there, and we went down memory lane with them. And I can't wait for all of you to engage and watch that. So
great.
So much fun to do all of this in a different way, and think about it in an innovative way. And I saw a comment early on from Jennifer, actually, just saying, I hope virtual never goes away. And I really feel strongly that it won't, even if and when, hopefully, we're back in person, this virtual format will always be there. How could we give it and then take it away, right? And never come back. So, there's also experiences for youth and young adults during this event. It's called Our Quest for Connection. And they will literally be given challenges and activities to go and do. And then I'm
so excited for that. That is amazing.
It'll be so fun. And again, we all know that we learn by doing. So just excited to see all of these pieces to come together, and
I'll bet incredible. You are. I just can't even imagine the anticipation. I mean, we're excited enough, and you are the ones that have put your blood and sweat and tears into this.
You're also,
the anticipation of next Wednesday night, right? Because of
that. Yeah, for us here in Utah, it'll start Wednesday night. At 9 p.m. is when the main stage and everything starts, but at 5 p.m. come and join us. The site will be open and live, and the expo hall will be open for a preview experience for 4 hours before we start. So that all begins next Wednesday, you guys. And then I'm so nervous. I'm excited. I don't know what to do. Usually I'm planning, chairs and where the taco cart goes. And now I'm kind of sitting here going, I don't know what to do. So,
maybe you can rest a little. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Scott and Angel, there is a video that Jen has put together that will explain to people when they first show up what the event is and how it works and what's where. And that's I would say to somebody who wants to get the most out of their first experience at RootsTech, find her video and watch it, and she shows you around. And I think that'll do a lot to help you figure out how to get the most out of the conference.
Great. And where do they locate that? And let's talk about
probably going to be on the homepage really close to the top. So
okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people keep asking, where do I go for this event? Again, we're giving you directions, where to park, where to go. This year, it's really easy, friends. Just go to rootstech.org.
That's it.
Oh, and they ask, what's the schedule?
30 seconds, right? I mean, it's so easy.
There is a schedule for the main stage, but for everything else, it's just like, Netflix or Amazon Prime or YouTube. It's your schedule. You figure out your own schedule and watch it when you want to. But there is a schedule for the live events on the main stage.
That's fantastic.
Perfect.
Anything else you want to say? We've just loved having you two here.
We appreciate it so much.
I am just so excited that I can feel it in my whole body. The thrill of what's coming and the anticipation. It's Christmas Eve feeling, but more. So thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to add just before we conclude?
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much for all of you, for your support in letting us innovate in this space and change what you love and enjoy, but help us share it and spread it with all those that you do know and love. And hopefully we'll bring a little light to the world next week, regardless of where they are and what they're experiencing and what the status of the pandemic is for them. So share the light, and we can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for your support.
Perfect.
So great.
Greg, anything else?
I just echo what Jen said. Well said, Jen.
Well said. Yes,
Perfect.
please share with everyone you know
All
in
of you
every
that are
country,
listening,
all
yes,
over.
please share this and pass it
Please
on.
share this and share the RootsTech site and that video. Let's get more people. 320,000, 340,000 isn't enough. So
That's right.
We do believe that represents families, and if you times that by about 5 or 6 in the average family, you're really talking about the people that are being involved already.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you find something that you like, share it with a sibling, share it with a child, share it with your parent, share it with a friend. Yeah, whatever you discover, pass it along, and you'll find that that'll increase the joy that you feel as you discover and gather information about your family too.
Yes, and many of our comments are just saying thank you, and we'd like to add our gratitude once
So
again.
much, yeah.
We just keep thanking you. It is a miracle. It is just a miracle.
So sign up and be involved and be enriched for a whole year and get connected and unified. And just like Elder Uchtdorf said, something unimaginable is happening. Absolutely miraculous. Thanks for being with us today.
We appreciate it so much. You have a wonderful day.